Hello there. This is the 996. This is my second video of my journey, following my writing journey. And as I said in my last video, we're going to discuss character development. So there's some questions I realized over the years that I would continuously ask myself about my characters, and I realized that I thought they were very helpful. Now, before I start, let me explain why I believe knowing your characters is such a pivotal part of a novel, no matter what you're writing. First of all, what happens is when you read a story, no matter what the genre is, whether it's horror, whether it's sci-fi, whether it's fantasy, whether it's sci-fi fantasy, whatever age range, for young adult, new adult, or children, there will always be characters. Characters might be human, they might not be human, they might be an animal, but they all have personalities. Now, if you have a character and they're pretty flat, most people are not going to want to read that. I remember being a child and reading this book called Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farms. And I remember after reading this book, I threw it across the room and I just said, I don't like it. It's not real. And what I meant was I felt the character was very flat. I didn't know quite how to describe it. I didn't feel the character was very realistic. What you never want to have is main characters that are Mary Sues. A Mary Sue is a type of character that's very good and always does the right thing and isn't really well developed. Preferably, you try to develop as many characters as you can. In my opinion, you try to develop all your characters as much as possible. Your main characters, your protagonists, the people, the sidekicks, people around your protagonist, your antagonist, the character whose goals are in direct opposition of whatever your character's goal is. And also, you need to make sure that you are developing maybe characters that have to do with the main character's background. It could be something about their parents, it could be certain relatives, it could be teachers, influential people in your character's life. Now, some people are pantsers and their process is their own. Personally, I'm a bit of a planner, but I also don't plan everything out. I am a planner as far as knowing my characters and my story world before starting the story, unless it's a short story. Then I will just sometimes do a little bit of thinking and then just start writing. However, I'm going to assume that you're going to try and write a novel, or maybe this will help you with short stories, because sometimes I ask myself certain questions involving characters in short stories also. So let me start. One question I like to ask, especially my main character, what's their favorite color? Now you might be thinking to yourself, why does it matter what a character's favorite color is? But a favorite color can say a lot about that character. Do they like black? If they like black, is it just because they're a gothic character? Or is it maybe because they're overweight? And when they walk out the door, it makes them feel a little more confident, that they feel slimmer. They wear black because they think they feel stylish and it goes with anything. Favorite color red because they feel powerful when they have red on, or when they see red, they just feel something that's bright and it makes them feel like it's just the center of attention. Why is their favorite color their favorite color? Are they 100% aware of why their favorite color is their favorite color, other than they just like it and are drawn to it? Think about yourself. Also think about a close friend. Here's the thing. For me, I personally feel like I should know my main characters well enough like they're a close friend. But unlike a person in real life, you never know 100% about that person. You need to know things about your character that they don't know about themselves, or at least they're not consciously aware of themselves. Do a little psychology and a little digging into your character. Or should I say do a lot. I feel like asking certain questions like what a character's favorite color is helps link to asking different things about how it makes them feel, possibly where their favorite color originated. I mean, for instance, as a character, let's say they have a female, she absolutely hates pink. Is it because there's so many stereotypes about girls wearing pink and what they're supposed to be like that didn't go with her personality? Do you have a character that also is not just a favorite color, what's their least favorite color? Such as I mentioned the example about pink. Do they dislike wearing certain patterns? Does a boy absolutely hate anything with stripes in it? Does it remind him of something, or does it just not feel stylish to him? Even if the character itself isn't able to articulate why he hates it, you need to be able to understand how to articulate and understand why he hates it. If you have a character, also think, what is one of their favorite foods? This will help you a lot. Let's say character's going to a movie or whatever type of place that they're going to. Like in the typical movie food of popcorn and maybe some drinks and candy. Is there a specific candy that a character doesn't like? For instance, if a character doesn't like licorice, then someone offers some licorice, they're going to say, no, thank you. You should know, will they say that or not? What type of music do they like to listen to? Even if this character is in another world, having an idea what type of music they like to listen to can help you figure out certain aspects about their personality. Think about it. Pretend that this music lasts on another world. If your character possibly is sci-fi fantasy, if your character is simply here, what type of story? Think about your story and think about what kind of music that they like. Do they like rock music? Why do they like rock music? Do they like the fact that it's loud and it's upbeat? Does it make them feel powerful? Do they listen to certain types of music during certain periods? Do they like listening to upbeat music and then sad music when they're sad? Do they like listening to upbeat music to try and make them happy when they feel down? What type of songs would they listen to as far as what kind of lyrics do they like? Does a character love listening to love songs and maybe one day meet, love of their life? Do you have a character that listens to a lot of classical music and likes just having the instrumental background? Would you have a character that likes to listen to a lot of gothic rock? Or what age range is your character? I know that's a question that's pretty much universal. You need to know the age of your character, but let's say your character is going to be about 15 or 16. Don't just, if whatever age you are, whether you're a teenager writing or an adult, don't just think, okay, well, they're a teenager, so they obviously need to just be moody. Think about other aspects of their personality. Yes, maybe they're hormonal because they're a teenager, but still there are teenagers I know that had more of an upbeat personality. There are teenagers that maybe they're more mature than others. Think about different aspects about why they be more mature than others or why they may not be more mature. It's because of certain circumstances that made them more mature, such as having to work at an early age, having to take care of a lot of siblings. How they feel if did they grow up with a lot of siblings? Did they grow up with being an only child? Asking some questions. Like, here's the thing. If you have a close friend, more than likely you know if they grew up with a lot of siblings or the number of siblings, their favorite color, their favorite food, the type of music they listen to, and what type of clothing that they might be drawn to, might not be drawn to. For your character, you need to know that about them, but you also need to really understand the psychology of why they feel that way, how these different things make them feel. I mean, think about also, could a character absolutely hate something? For instance, could a character hate a certain food because someone said, okay, you need to eat these vegetables, and you need to eat these vegetables, and the kid is just rebelling, like, forget this. I always hated this food. It's not so much about the taste, but because of the way that the food was presented to them, and it's just, for years, someone kept pushing eating some type of vegetable like broccoli on them, they absolutely hate it? Do they, well, also think about it. When you're in a restaurant, or if you're just out and about, you watch the way people are eating. Sometimes they'll take small bites. Sometimes they'll shove food in their mouth. Think about the way your character eats. Are they the type of character that will take slow bites or rush through their food? Was it just a matter of what's happening? Will they need to go all the time? I mean, we live in a busy society, but is whoever your character is, and whatever is going on with your character, how would they eat their food? You can think about, will they twirl the spaghetti around and then put it in their mouth? Would they put a fork down right away, then stick it in their mouth? Would they take sips of the water? Why do you think they might eat this way? Is it because they're used to living in a household where you have a lot of siblings, you have to hurry up and grab your food? It's because they were raised more so to eat in a more proper manner? Is it because, oh my gosh, they hated eating in a proper manner because that's what they had to grow up with? So they just said, forget that when they're around their friends. They don't have to do this anymore. They can simply just go and eat the way that their peers around them are able to, more so. Also, what type of hairstyles do they like? Do they like wearing braids? Do they like having their hair curled? Do they like, what kind of hair texture do they have? Is their hair straight? Is their hair thick? Is their hair something that they like? Do they absolutely love the fact that they have this thick, luscious hair? Or are they thinking, oh my goodness, I wish I had curls like that girl in class that hair is just able to bounce so naturally? So these are some questions you can ask yourself about your characters. And I really think that they help make them more real. And especially if you think about why, how it makes them feel. I'll do another video on characters. So please give me a thumbs up if you like this video. You can also subscribe so you'll know when my next video will be up. And I really hope that you have a wonderful day.